Reimagining LMS administration from one script to a system, building an admin dashboard in Brightspace, and how we use that knowledge to build a faculty and student dashboard. The agenda for this session is quite simple. We're going to go through some introductions. We'll cross over into the admin dashboard. We'll do a review of the faculty dashboard. I'll give you a quick show of the student dashboard, additional uses, and how we did it, and then conclusion. Hello, my name is Justin Bamberg, and I am the LMS and Multimedia Design Technologist for Delta College. I've been with Delta College for 15 years and 10 years in this position.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Nelson. I'm the LMS and Learning Design Specialist at Delta College. I work in the e-learning department, and I've been in this position for about 2 years now, and I help faculty with training and designing their online courses, as well as some administrative tasks with Justin.
What if there was an alternative way to manage D2L? The problem we faced was there was just too many clicks inside the D2L interface. The information was spread across multiple Brightspace tools. We were more reactive support instead of proactive support. It was difficult seeing trends across users, courses, and enrollments. We just wanted to simplify the whole process. So we asked ourselves, could we bring the data and actions together into one place? And that is how the admin dashboard was born. We streamlined common administrative workflows and paired them with reporting that wasn't available out of the box. What we'll cover in the admin dashboard: 1. The user management section. 2. The course management section. 3. The enrollment management section. And then we're going to go over some of our reports in section 4. From the top of the navigation bar, we have the button called Admin Dashboard. The admin dashboard is a combination of multiple reports and data points across the entire environment. This is currently set for a fall semester and kind of giving you an evaluation of what's going on in the fall semester. We can switch this to a spring semester and pull up spring data that's currently active of what's going on currently right now. But what we're going to look at specifically today is going to look at this user management. We're going to look at create user. So we have different options here in the create user, which can be done in the UI, but it can also be done here, because now once we create that user, we can automatically enroll them directly into a course right from this window after we create this user account. What's also really nice is that when we have guest users that need to have a password reset to give access to a backdoor access point because we use single sign-on, so we might have to direct that user to a specific web page. We can also do the force password for that particular user. So any of our guest users who are just coming in to be able to view a course for a short amount of time, but not actually a full-on Delta College student, we can create this particular user for this person using a special role, which is kind of written here at the top for any other admin that might be needed to be able to use this. And so it selects the particular role and gives them access to the course using the first name, last name, a G user, and then whatever their username is that we've created based off their first and last name. We enter their email address, and then we can generate a temporary password. And so we can pre-flight to make sure that individual is not already a person in the system, and then we can create that user and set that temporary password. From there, we can automatically enroll them into a particular course in whichever role that we need them to be in. And it's going to autofill here with their email address, a subject, and then it's going to pre-fill this body text automatically based off of the details we've provided here, as well as saying, hey, this gives you access to our backdoor area, and it gives you a link to where you're going to have to reset your password. And then once you click that open email client, it's going to automatically open up the email system, and then it's going to pre-fill that email for us and then be able to load that data automatically and then send that email out to that particular user. What's great about the search user is that we can search based on multiple fields. So we can do the org-defined ID, their username, or the user ID number. If you're using username, if you're not sure what their username is, you can ask for the student's first and last name and then do a search from there. And that's going to provide some information back, as well as other accounts that might be related to that particular name. But we can also do a search by org-defined ID. It's going to give myself as well. So I have many accounts in the system that are using my same ID number. When you bring up their account, you can bring up all of their enrollments. It's going to render a list of the enrollments based off of the icon here, or you can go ahead and edit that user directly. If you're going to look at their enrollments, now you can see what the org ID number is, the course name, and give direct access to that particular course and whichever role they are listed in that particular course. Here, then you go to the course offering information or go directly to the class list. The next area I'm going to cover here is the course management section. So search for courses. This works great for when you need to find a course by a particular semester. It's going to load that semester and you can just search in. So if we're looking for something particular, a course directly or based off of maybe if I'm looking for an 800 level course, I can type that in there, click the semester, and it's going to give me a long list of all of the courses that are available. When you're using the search for courses option, either one, anytime that you enter the ID number and you do a search, it's going to provide you with that particular course. You can give direct access to that course, or you can go over to the actions button and view the class list or view their course offering information directly from this button. This is nice for being able to pull up the information quickly. If you already know the ID number, again, you could do the same thing for the search. It'll give you a list, and then you'll have some of those same options available to you. The next two sections we're going to look at are create a sandbox and create a course shell. So sandbox has a standard. It always has this beginning part of the source code, and so it is listed as a sandbox course. And when you're creating a sandbox course, you're going to enter a name. It's going to end up with bio on the end as it is from the first name, adding the sandbox first. You can add a description if you want. We could automatically add a ZZ student to that list. And then once you create the sandbox, it'll give you the option of automatically adding in a faculty member or another role in as needed. Similar to the sandbox, we have to create the course shell, which is very similar, but this is more specific without the sandbox. You can create an actual course code and a course name, as well as any other information. This is great for other areas or departments across campus that aren't creating sandboxes, but creating actual courses that could be used in the Discover section or someplace else. Again, here you can add in the demo student, and then once you've created the course, you'll have the option of enrolling other members into that particular course. Under the enrollment management section, we're going to cover create the enrollments. So creating an enrollment, you can actually search for that particular user, select a semester, find a course, and enroll that particular user in that particular course, whatever role that you need it to be. We can also do the management of an enrollment. So if you're searching for a particular user or by ID number or username, you can search for that. And so, for instance, if we look up my name, for instance, under username, we have mine, and so I can go ahead and I can view those enrollments. From the view enrollments, I have the option of changing my role directly or removing myself or someone else from that particular course. So if we needed to be able to do that, you could do that. Bulk enrollment allows us to do very specific things as far as enrollment. So I have regular bulk enrollment via a CSV file. All I need is to select what type of file it is. It's a CSV file that just has a single row without a header of just org defined ID numbers, or their student ID numbers or faculty ID numbers, what role they're going to be in, what the course is, and then process enrollments can automatically happen. You can do the same thing based off of usernames. So it could be off of a username, selecting the particular role it might be, and adding in the course ID and hitting process. If you have more, so let's say you have multiple individuals into different organization units, you can process that. So we can filter it or base it off of the org defined ID or the username. So the CSV would be set up as org or username, and then the ID number. And so then you could select which role they're going to be and process all of those. So this could be a CSV file of 100 different users in different courses, and we could just automatically bulk enroll them all at one time. This is a more advanced one, so let's say that you have different roles. So we have both in an org defined ID or username would be in this space here, and then the next field over would be the org ID number, and then the role ID. And so this would allow that individual to create following the information here, and then to be able to process that. So again, another 100 users, for instance, with different roles, different org units, different individuals. And the last option here was we have the bulk group enrollment. So this allows us to upload based off of the org defined ID again, or their username, into a particular course ID. So once you load the course ID, you can click load groups, and then you select which group, and then you assign that CSV file to that particular group. So no longer having to individually load an individual into a group, we can actually do it by bulk. The last section we're going to cover is our reports and tools section. This is very unique to Delta College. We use Ellucian and colleague services, so a lot of what our reports do will be using some of those reports that we're able to download out of colleague. One thing that we do on a daily basis is the user adds and drops audit, and so we're able to download a adds and drops report out of colleague and be able to run that report directly through our system. So we'll upload a file, you can select a term, and then start that audit. And what that does is it compares our list of enrollments to their list to make sure that with our system using ILP, or what we call our data bridge from colleague to D2L, if something drops out and it does not process correctly, we're able to grab that list of students that either were not unenrolled or enrolled into the system. And so that report allows us to run that on a daily basis and then be able to provide that data back to our OIT team, who actually runs that information. We have a new report. This is why it's called Insights, because we are going to the cloud. Another one that we run once a semester is our empty course audit. This empty course audit checks to see if a course has met some rules, I guess. The next one we're going to cover is the empty course audit, and this is a way for us to determine if a course has not done anything in the course for setup for that beginning of the semester. So we're able to run that course. What it checks for is has the instructor added a news item, has the instructor added graded items, or has the instructor added any content. And so it's looking for those particular things, and if it doesn't, then it marks it as the course is empty. And so we send out reminders to faculty that their course is still empty, your semester starts in such and such days, and so please make sure that you've uploaded some content. We check all three of those because we do have some faculty that use book publisher content only, and so we ask that they post at least a news message that refers over to the book publisher. That way it can be counted for. Another one that we do is the canceled courses section, and so we don't cancel courses or delete canceled courses out of our system. We actually run a report that takes the list from colleague and says, hey, these are the courses that have been canceled. We're able to run those against a semester from a file, do a comparison, and then run a canceled report off of that, and then run that report back into the system. And what that does is it changes the course, so it makes it from active to inactive. It automatically adds CXLD to the course code of that particular course, and then posts a news item to that course letting the instructor know that that course has been canceled. We also provision ZZ students for every course in every semester. So this system automatically creates a demo student in every course. It doesn't actually enroll that user. It takes the ID number of that course and creates a unique ID ZZ student or demo student for that particular course. That allows the instructor to use the widget. That widget will say, hey, it checks to see if that user exists, and will automatically enroll that ZZ student into that course, and the instructor can use that one, turn it on, turn it off, delete, unenroll, whatever it might be, anytime throughout the semester to be able to use that demo student, and it's very unique to that particular course. We have other reports here about incomplete reports or course access reports, learner usage reports. These are important for us to be able to run in case we need to find out if a student is still listed as an incomplete. Learner usage reports are great for checking to see if they're unenrolled from a course before their last date of activity could be reported on. We can run this report in the background. Automatically enrolls the user back into the course as a special role, and automatically downloads their activity report, and then automatically unenrolls that user back out. We do a course access report every semester to check to see if students have actually logged into that first day of the semester. And then there's a number of other activities that we run, organizational level type reports. We also have a retired list for students that have not been with the college in so many years, and we retire those students. We check for inactive accounts. So there's a number of things that we automatically run, either daily, weekly, sometimes monthly. We also have these other course related things, no instructor activity reports, or never attended reports, or never even logged in reports. This is very specific to students. This is to faculty, those kinds of things. We also have some other tools that are available to us that we've built. Any course that's missing an end date, because this will affect their evaluation software. We're checking intelligent agent emails to make sure that they've added their own email instead of the learning office email address. And so we can do just a number of different reports, as well as some that were already work in progress. So there's a number of things that we are working on to try and solve some other issues. Again, this is very specific to our instance, but it's just something that you can do or think about when you're building your own dashboard of what reports you can create, what can you pull. We use a lot of data hub files, as well as our SIS reports that we're able to access, and then be able to run that stuff through our D2L dashboard and create new files for us, or to actually solve problems that we may not have been able to do before.
Now we're going to be talking and sharing about the faculty dashboard. So faculty need a semester-wide view of teaching activities and the ability to identify issues before students fall behind. So we're going to walk through the following sections as I share the faculty dashboard: the home statistics, the course section, the student section, analytics, tools, and reports. So this is the home page of the faculty dashboard, and this home page gives an overview of all the different components that are shown in the dashboard. So in the first tile, there are 9 courses that this instructor is teaching in the current semester, and the current semester for Delta College is spring of 2026. In this current semester, this instructor is teaching 103 students across all courses, and there are 2 total ungraded items that need attention. Currently, the average course grade is 87% across all courses. There are 0 assignments that need to be graded. There are 32 discussion responses that have been posted among all courses, and 2 responses need feedback. And there are 87 quizzes total for all courses. And we also have a quick tool section as well as a faculty tutorial section. And on the left-hand side is the menu bar. So now we are viewing the My Courses section. The instructor can search their active courses in the current semester by using the search engine. And if they click on the Academic Courses tab, they're able to view their active courses for the current semester and see which courses they are teaching. They can also click on a particular course and be directed to that course in D2L. If they click on the Other Roles tab, they're able to view courses where they are a different role besides instructor. So some of our instructors are course evaluators for particular courses. If an instructor has the opportunity to apply to a promotion, or if an instructor would like to copy over a course from their colleague into their own shell, they can become the copy to role in D2L. So they can view those courses that they are a part of or enrolled in, but have a different role besides instructor in the Other Roles section. They can also view the sandbox courses or mock courses that they created as well. In this section, the instructor has the ability to see how their students are doing in their courses. And the instructor has the ability to submit a support service referral to our student support services to alert them of a particular need of a student. The instructor has the ability to look at students based on all courses or looking at a particular course. So the students are tagged as at risk, moderately at risk, or on grade level based on their last access and their overall grade. So let's take a look at a student. So if the instructor clicks on the student's name, they have the ability to email the student directly, and within Outlook, a template will pop up that the instructor can either automatically send or they can personalize it if they would like. They can submit the student support service referral for this particular student, and they are able to see what course the student is taking. So if they are cross-referenced in a course that the same instructor is teaching, it will be shown here. Now within this pop-up, the instructor will see why the particular student is tagged as either at risk, moderately at risk, or on grade level. So the reason for this particular student is that their grade is below 70%. And they'll be able to see when they last accessed the course. And if they need to, they can go right to their or the student's course progress within that course, or see that course itself. So now we're going to take a look at the analytics section. And the first area of the analytics section is the course health area. And the instructor has the ability to see analytics or its course health from an all courses standpoint, or they can look at each particular course individually. So the first tile in the course health section is the needs attention tile, which is kind of the overview of the course health area. So at a glance, the instructor can see how many students have been inactive for at least 3 days, how many students been inactive for at least 7 days, how many students have never attended or logged into the course, how many students are failing, how many students have dropped off from engagement, how many students are behind pace, and if the instructor has a missing syllabus or has any broken links in their courses overall. The next tile is the student risk table. So just like the student section, this particular tile will show all students that are considered at risk within all courses or whichever course the instructor is currently viewing. If we scroll down a little bit more, we have the engagement section or tile. And the instructor can see which students have low contact interaction, meaning students who haven't opened the current week's module. So the instructor can also see the average days since last access. So the average days the students are visiting the course, and the average is 1.6 days currently. The instructor can also see what students haven't opened their feedback for a particular activity. And they can also see login activity. In the assessment tile of course health, we have the high quiz attempt time, which is a list of students that are taking 2 times the average time on quizzes. We also have discussion lurkers, which is a list of students that have posted a discussion response but haven't replied or read 10 plus posts without contributing. And we also have grade volatility, which is the latest grade that is 15% lower than the previous average. Also in the analytics section, the instructor is able to take a look at the assignments that haven't been graded just yet in their courses. So as we can see here, the instructor is able to see that there are a total of 68 assignments. Total submissions are 416 and need attention 3. And needs attention means they haven't been graded just yet. So the instructor has 3 assignments that have just been turned in, and when they are ready to evaluate, they can open that assignment into D2L and grade it and publish it as well. In the discussion section, the instructor is able to take a glance on which particular discussion responses need to be reviewed within their courses. In the quiz section, the instructor is able to see more in-depth information about a particular quiz within all courses or in one particular course. So if an instructor finds a particular quiz and they would like to see more in-depth data related to that quiz, they can click on more in-depth data. And they'll be able to see the average score, the how many quizzes are below 65%, the average time spent in the quiz, how many attempts were submitted late, how many total attempts were counted, and then any special access data and question data. As well, the instructor is able to open the quiz in D2L to take a further look at the questions too. And last but not least, we have particular resources related to Delta College that our faculty can look at, faculty training videos that instructors can see, any accessibility information that our faculty need to know when designing their courses, any particular forms that are associated with Delta College, particular tools and reports that we use for our workflows in our day-to-day semester administration, and then any updates that D2L might be releasing.
The last dashboard we're going to look at is the student dashboard. What if students could see everything important across all classes in one place? We're going to cover the home stats page, courses page, grades, calendar, and finally the resources and support page. The last dashboard we're going to cover is the student portal or the student dashboard. This dashboard, just like the faculty dashboard, is mostly redacted to keep the student data information secure and safe. So we're going to be just going over a few of these different options that are available for students. This dashboard has yet to be released. So right from the get-go here is the home page, and so we've combined all of their current grades and their courses all on one page. Any of their upcoming due dates that are available in this particular course, as well as a link over to the calendar page, and then any recent messages from the instructor or what might be changes or have feedback available to that particular student. We have quick access to our help desk system. For courses, this is where all the student has access to all of their available courses again, and so they'll be able to access their courses, go straight over to their assignments, quizzes, or discussion boards, as well as see their current grade. Under the grades page, this is going to be tracking all of their academic progress, and so every one of these sections can be broken down so they can show grades for all the individual items that might be happening inside the course. The next section here is the calendar section, and so we have all of the due dates that have loaded in the course. So if there's a due date that's been posted or anything that's been added to the calendar, it'll load on to the calendar view, and so there's some options here that's available for that student. Messages is just similar just to pulling the messages that are available. Any of the notifications that are pulled in from the system are going to be loaded there. We do have an assortment of resources available to the students, so this is pulling from every resource across campus all onto one page. Our support page here covers anything that's related to D2L help or IT support or anything with the library or tutoring services that might be available to that particular student. And then the last couple here are some tutorials and some profile stuff. But that's mainly what the student portal is all about. We have a few other examples of how we've used D2L API calls to solve a problem. Here we have a number of widgets that have solved other problems for us inside D2L. This helps us grow an understanding of API calls and how to use JavaScript. At the top, we have a widget that gives the students a welcome message as well as their student ID number. We've had issues where students have forgotten what their ID number is, especially when they call us for support, and so we've provided that ID number as soon as they log into D2L. The next one we have is for faculty. It's our D2L Tech Tips. This actually filters from a different course shell, and then that filters in through an API call from that course shell and shows a list of different tech tips that every time the instructor refreshes, will give them a different new tech tip, or they can view them all if they wanted to. The next box we have is the faculty incomplete student list. And so this widget is available for faculty, and it is blocking out the student's personal information just in case the faculty shares their course shell. The instructor would then just click on that name and it would reveal that student's information and help the instructor be able to know which students have an incomplete for a particular semester and be able to assist that student as needed. The next one next to that is the incomplete courses. This is available for students. So as an incomplete student is granted, they are listed as what we call a student 2. And after that course has been passed, it actually ends up on the View All Courses area instead of on the main My Courses section because the due date has passed. This role allows the student to access a closed course and be able to finish that course. And so for students to be able to easily recognize that they have an incomplete that's been granted to them, we've created this widget available that goes underneath the My Courses section. And so they can easily access their incomplete courses and get them finished. One above that, over to the right, is the Add ZZ student in a course, and so this allows the faculty to enroll or unenroll a ZZ or a demo student, as we call it, in a class. And so this one allows them to add and delete at any time. The next one is the upcoming courses widget. Now this is both available to faculty and students, and what it does is it shows when a course is available for the next coming semester or the rest of the semester. So for instance, we have a spring-summer 26 enrollment here, and so it's showing a course with an instructor and when that start date is. So since students can't see the courses until the first day of the semester, this allows for the students to be able to see what's coming up. They seem to come to D2L a lot when they want to see which courses that they're actually enrolled in instead of looking at their student self-service area. So we've made it easy for them to be able to recognize which courses are coming up for the next semester. The last box we have here is our faculty navigation menu, and this allows us to offer a bunch of different options for faculty and some that require API calls, like adding a ZZ student again, creating a sandbox course, and submitting grades by area. How to get started. Start with one problem. You don't need to build an entire dashboard. You have one repetitive task that you need, or one report, or one widget, one API call. Just get started with using just one thing first, and then build something. We use the organization files area of D2L because it's more secure and allows for role-based API access, and it's hidden from the public. So we're going to walk you through the process of quickly creating a folder and then adding your first index file so that you can link to it inside the external links, and then you can use that URL in anywhere across D2L. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder and a file in the organization files folder. Again, this is the folder that you can use as a secure location. There's another folder inside D2L that allows for a public files folder, but we don't want to use that. We want to be able to do role-based and lock it into the logged in person's access. So a lot of the API tools require or are better off to only allow those people that are logged in to see their specific areas. So we're going to use organization files, and we're going to create a new folder. This one we could call D2L Dashboards. And inside the D2L Dashboards, we're going to create a new file. And a new file is considered an HTML page. So we've got to create this as an HTML page. Your typical HTML beginning home page is usually called an index.html. And then you can start building using the code editor. You can build whatever HTML file you want, or once this is saved into the system, you could actually upload and override that file at any time. So if you're using a different program like Cursor or another editing program, you could always upload that entire file here. And so once it's here, then we can go to our admin tools again. We can go to external links. We can create a new link. We're going to put it in my D2L conference folder. We're going to title this as D2L Dashboards. We're going to use the quick link button. We're going to browse to content. We're going to browse to course file. We're going to find our folder we just created, D2L dashboards. And we're going to click and select our main homepage. And then we will hit save. Now this is our URL to access all of our external links. So we'll click on the external links tool. We'll scroll down to our index page, D2L dashboards, and then this will open up an HTML page. Now this HTML page is blank because we haven't added anything. But now I can use that URL across anywhere inside D2L in other areas. If I want to add it to the navigation bar, like we've done for our admin dashboard and our faculty dashboard, I could do that at any time. We've done the same thing for our student resources and support links, where this is just an HTML page built inside D2L, using that same process of the admin tools, organization files, and creating that folder. As you can see, we've created a lot of different folders inside the Manage Files area under the organization files. For one, we're going to take a look at the admin dashboard. So we already covered the admin dashboard. Now you can see kind of the structure of what we've built. So we've created different folders. Our index file is going to be inside here. This links to all of our different elements, our navigation bars, our different pages that we have available, as well as linking over to all of our reports and all of our JavaScript files as well. So D2L is built mostly with JavaScript, and so it works really well inside the system. And so you can see all of these different JavaScript files that actually work together with all the individual files. So any of our reports or any of our API calls, each one is a separate different JavaScript file that can load content or different information depending on what's being brought in. And so we've kept everything organized in a way that's easy to manage, easy to adjust and make changes to, and then re-upload those files in. So anything related to our CSS files are all inside this folder called CSS, and then we break down into some other different files as well. But overall, this is how we keep everything organized and what your organization structure could look like. So if you're building something in an external service like Cursor or one of the other services that are available for web page development, you would be able to then take that entire file or folder and then upload that into the system and override the files, and then carry on and access your links.